man wakes up suddenly, completely disoriented. He seems to have been in an accident and, struggling, gets up to look for help. After walking for quite a while, he spots a car passing by and waves desperately. However, the vehicle almost runs him over and drives off without stopping. He finally catches up to the car, and upon opening the door, finds the driver already dead, with their eyes completely white. Panicked, the man grabs a phone and calls the police. When the officer asks for his name, he doesn't know what to say and, in shock, hangs up. He realizes he has lost his memory due to the accident. Searching his pockets, he finds a driver's license with his photo and the name Liam Hartwell. However, it doesn't feel familiar to him at all. To make things worse, a crow suddenly drops dead a few meters away, its eyes also white. Terrified and unsure of what's happening, he quickly walks away. In his search for answers, he arrives at a diner and, to his horror, finds all the patrons dead, their eyes white as well. He suspects that a poisonous gas might be responsible and covers his face with his shirt, deciding to head to the address listed on his driver's license. When he reaches the house, he discovers that he lives alone, with no family, which deepens his sense of emptiness and isolation. After cleaning himself up, he sees someone outside and tries to warn them to come inside, fearing that the poisonous gas might be fatal. However, as the person gets closer, their eyes turn white, and they instantly collapse, lifeless. Now in a panic, Liam conducts an experiment. He approaches a crow, and within just a few meters, the bird suddenly dies. He finally understands what's happening. He is the cause of the deaths. Something from the accident has given him a supernatural ability. Any living being that comes near him, within a certain range, dies without him even needing to touch them. Unsure of how to deal with this, he decides to isolate himself in the back house to avoid causing more casualties. That night, as he tries to rest, he hears something outside. When he checks, he sees a woman approaching the house. She spots him and begins to come closer, but Liam, frightened, warns her to stay away. To his surprise, when she opens the door, nothing happens. Neither she nor the dog accompanying her are affected by his presence. Confused, he realizes that his ability might be fading or working differently. He doesn't yet know what this means for him or those around him. The woman reveals that she has also lost her memory, just like him. She woke up in the same place where he had the accident, and for that reason, she believes the two of them knew each other before that moment. The only thing she can remember is Liam's name, which is why she decided to find him, hoping he could help her recover her lost memories. But to her surprise, Liam can't remember anything either. A faint memory begins to surface in Liam's mind. He remembers something that might be important. He and the woman were in a place called Smithburg Oakdale. They decide to go there, believing they might find a clue about what happened and who they are. When they arrive, they discover that Smithburg is actually a bridge. The woman instinctively remembers being there with Liam before and throwing a piece of paper into the water, an apparently insignificant gesture that, to her, seemed to hold some meaning. However, after searching the area thoroughly, they find nothing that helps them understand what happened. Hello, my dear friends. This is the summary of the movie, Radius. I hope you're enjoying it. Leave a comment saying I liked it, so we know you paid attention to every detail in the video. Now let's continue. They then decide to return to the accident site, hoping to uncover more answers. Upon arriving at the crash site, they encounter something peculiar, a patch of scorched earth forming a black circle on the ground. They realize it wasn't fire that caused this, but something different, something unexplainable. Liam, his mind still foggy, begins to recall fragments of what happened during the accident. He vaguely remembers a lightning strike hitting him, and this thought starts to make sense, as he believes the lightning might have been the cause of his supernatural ability. The woman, frightened and unable to understand, begins to distance herself from him, fearing the same might happen to her. Although Liam believes his ability has vanished, he soon discovers to his horror that it's still active. When the woman runs away, a police officer suddenly appears and starts asking questions about Liam's truck, which was found at the accident site. At that moment, as Liam tries to catch up with the woman, the officer suddenly drops dead, his eyes white like the other victims. Liam realizes, terrified, that his ability hasn't disappeared entirely, but something even stranger is happening. Liam decides to conduct an experiment. He finds a goat in a remote area, and when the woman steps away from him, the animal dies instantly. This reveals a new and surprising truth. The woman somehow possesses an ability similar to Liam's, but with a critical difference. Her ability can deactivate his. When she's nearby, the deaths caused by Liam's power don't occur. Liam decides to undergo medical tests, despite the risks. He believes this might provide some answers. At the hospital, he gets a brain scan, and while they wait for the results, they watch the news on television. A report mentions a new lead regarding the death of the police officer they had encountered earlier. The police discovered that before dying, the officer had called his daughter, and during the call, she mentioned hearing Liam's voice. This led the authorities to his home, where they found a body with the same white eyes as the other victims and began a deeper investigation. After analyzing the events and evidence, the police named Liam as the primary suspect in the mysterious deaths happening in the region. Hearing this, Liam and the woman became alarmed and decided to leave the hospital immediately, but they soon realized that officers were already there. The doctor who examined Liam reported that his brain was normal, with no anomalies. However, 2 police officers began chasing them. They managed to escape, and as they approached the elevator, the woman noticed posters of missing persons. Distracted, she ended up getting separated from Liam. He entered the elevator, putting the people inside at risk, but they soon reunited and fled the hospital. In a safe place, the woman remembered something important. The piece of paper she had thrown away wasn't just a scrap. It was a poster showing that she was missing. This left her frustrated and confused. Liam tried to calm her, saying she was just exhausted and her mind was clouded. They decided to rest for a while. The next morning, they heard a news report on the car radio about the incident the day before. The police suspected she was involved with Liam and revealed her true identity. Her name was Rose, and her husband, Sam, had asked her to return home immediately. Rose decided to go to Sam's house, hoping to find clues about the accident, and invited Liam to accompany her. He hesitated, fearing he might put others at risk, but eventually agreed. When they arrived at Sam's house, Rose asked him to get in the car and listen to what she had to say. Initially reluctant, Sam eventually agreed. In an isolated location, Liam demonstrated his ability to Sam, who, surprised, began to believe that Liam wasn't a bad person as the police and media had portrayed. Sam took them to his store, where they could hide temporarily and try to uncover more about Liam and Rose's supernatural abilities. While they were talking, Liam found a poster with Rose's picture, but quickly realized it wasn't her. It was her twin sister Lily, who had been missing for over a year. Rose, deeply attached to her sister, had made several posters to find her. She recalled a moment of despair when she had considered ending her own life. It was then that Liam appeared and calmed her, taking her to his home. That was the moment the two first met. Rose realized her memories were starting to return. While Liam was alone, an unexpected image came to his mind, bringing back a memory. He told Rose about a remote place outside the city, along a road, that he considered a good spot to reflect. Following that flash of memory, Liam decided they should go there, as it seemed to be the only safe place to hide from the police. He suggested that Sam stay behind to act as a mediator between them and the police, trying to explain the truth and possibly resolve the situation. However, Sam disagreed, not wanting to let his wife go off with a stranger. When Sam left, he made an impulsive decision and called the police to the location. Realizing this, Liam and Rose prepared to flee, but it was already too late. The police had surrounded the area and managed to capture them. During the arrest, the police attempted to separate Liam from Rose, which would undoubtedly trigger Liam's ability. And that is exactly what happened. Everyone within Liam's range died instantly. Taking advantage of the confusion, Liam and Rose fled quickly, while Sam stayed behind as a witness to explain everything to the police. They arrived at a store and watched a news broadcast about a cosmic phenomenon. A lightning bolt from space had struck a spot on the East Coast. Although the origin of the lightning was unknown, the report confirmed that this event was responsible for the supernatural abilities of Liam and Rose. With this revelation, they continued their journey. However, something unusual happened. A car began following them. Concerned, they decided to travel to an isolated cabin that still appeared habitable. By the time they realized, morning had arrived. Liam went out for a walk and ended up at a lake. Meanwhile, Rose, who wanted to light the fireplace, found a box containing a book with several posters of missing women. One of those posters was of Lily, Rose's twin sister, who had been missing for over a year. The discovery was shocking. At the same time, Liam had a disturbing memory, and the truth started to unfold. It turned out that Liam himself was responsible for Lily's disappearance. He had kidnapped and murdered her, throwing her alive into the lake. The revelation was devastating. Liam was, in fact, a criminal who enjoyed abducting young women. And now, his next target was Rose, who was with him all along. The real story behind the accident also came to light. That night, Liam had tried to drug Rose, but she resisted, causing the truck to lose control and crash. Despite this, both survived. The revelation left Rose horrified, unsure of how to react. After the accident, lightning struck them, triggering the supernatural abilities in Liam and Rose. When Liam remembered this event, he was horrified, unable to believe he had committed such a cruel and unforgivable act. While he was trying to process everything, Rose appeared, pointing a gun at him. There was a mix of anger and sadness in her eyes, and although she was determined to kill him at that moment, she couldn't bring herself to pull the trigger. Afterward, they returned to the cabin, but to their surprise, 3 people appeared to capture them. One of them was a man Liam had seen earlier at the store. In a quick confrontation, Liam killed all 3 with ease, but unfortunately, Rose was shot and gravely injured. Desperate, Liam immediately took her to the hospital. As the nurses began treating her, he, consumed by guilt and remorse, shot himself in the head, taking his own life. Liam's death seemed to be the ultimate consequence of his transformation, a reflection of the lightning that had altered his personality, making him feel guilt for all he had done. If you enjoyed this movie, I highly recommend watching this other one here as well. I'm sure you'll love it. See you there.